Oi, pessoal, tudo bem? Bem-vindo a novo episódio do Real Estate Moment com JJ. If you speak Portuguese fluently, that was really bad. And you would know that. If you don't speak Portuguese fluently, you think I'm amazing. Today we are going to talk about renovations that can make it or break it with buyers. Cue in the music. Number 1, painting. Painting is one of the easiest upgrades that a seller can do, and everyone thinks that if they paint the entire house a flat gray, that is instantly going to improve its value, but that's not necessarily true. And especially if you are painting yourselves, folks, there is nothing more obvious than a paint job gone wrong, and it's one of the first things that buyers will notice walking through the house, pointing out all the spots and flecks of gray paint on the ceiling. If you are going to paint, I recommend hiring somebody professional, or if you're really good at it, just take your time, have a little patience, and don't automatically assume that because you're selling your place that it needs to be absent and completely void of color either. Some people might like that. Just saying. Number 2. Changing the layout. So maybe you have a lot of art projects that you like to work on. So you've knocked down the wall into the 1 bedroom into the spare, and instead of having a 3-bedroom house, you now have a 2-bedroom house, and that works great for you. But when a potential buyer walks in, that layout that was super awesome for your lifestyle could be super inconvenient for what they're looking for. So the only way to really combat this is that when you are renovating your property or making some changes to the layout, I know no one ever thinks when they buy a home or renovate a home, like, I'm gonna sell this in a couple of years. Like, some people do, but a lot of people don't. That's not a thought that crosses their mind because they're happy living in the moment. But you should really look into the future. It could potentially be a deal breaker for a buyer one day. Number 3. Okay, so let's talk about additions. Decks, sheds, additions, garages. If you are going to be building anything like that in the future, my friends, you have got to get an RPR and know where your property lines are. You need to take a look at the zoning and land use bylaw regulations in your area and make sure that you are building them according to that. In many municipalities, a movable shed is still just a shed, and it needs to be a minimum of 1 meter from the property line. This is pretty consistent across Alberta. So when you are building something, anything, just make sure that you are following the rules and regulations, and if it's required, that you get a permit. When you go to sell one day, you're probably going to have to do an RPR and a letter of compliance, and that new buyer is going to sit down with that piece of paper that says everything that is wrong or right, and that could be a deal breaker. So think about it. Last but not least, flooring. Now, my friends, when you do this right, it makes all the difference. But if you do it wrong, you could kill the deal. Flooring is so expensive, tedious, laborious. Is that a word? Is that a word? It's a lot of work, okay? There are a lot of people, handy people, who try to do carpet installation themselves, try to do laminate and vinyl themselves, and it is quite obvious that they did. They're making cuts in unusual places with the carpet, or there are pieces of vinyl or laminate flooring that have spacing in between them, and I promise you, if you're cutting corners of flooring, buyers are going to notice. It has been a deal breaker for me. Like, seriously, I'm not making this up. So if you're going to replace the flooring, you're going to do something with the flooring, take your time, make a good selection, and do it right. Do it right. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That concludes today's real estate moment. This is JJ Hoffman with REMAX and Matt Ferguson Group signing off. Good luck, everybody. If you're doing some renovations, thinking about some renovations, I'm sure you'll sell your place. I believe it. If not, give me a call. We'll work something out. Okay? I had to do it. I had to sneak. Yeah, I had to. It's what I do, okay? I have to sell houses. That's what I do.